Bunda, chuchu, zum zum zum. Did those words make you laugh? Well, in Brazil, these are completely normal words people use every day. Hey everyone, my name is Hugo Araújo from Don't Panic, Keep Speaking Portuguese. And today we are diving into 14 Brazilian Portuguese words that sound absolutely hilarious to English speakers, but are actually super useful in everyday conversation. Learning a language isn't just about grammar and vocabulary lists. It's also about those weird, unique words that make you smile and help you connect with the culture. Brazilian Portuguese is full of these gems. Some of these words might sound funny to your English speaking ears, but they express concepts that might take an entire sentence to explain in English. By the end of this video, you will not only be giggling at these words, but also understanding how to use them like a true Brazilian. Are you ready? So, vamos lá. Let's get started with our first word, cafuné. Our first word is one of my absolutely favorites, cafuné. Cafuné refers to the gentle, loving act of running your fingers through someone's hair. It's that soothing caress that makes you instantly relaxed. There's no direct translation in English. You would have to say something like that gentle head massage where someone runs their fingers through your hair. In Brazil, asking for a cafuné is super common between couples, maybe parents and children, or very, very close friends. It's a very intimate gesture that shows affection and care. So let's go with some examples. Hoje eu tô só por cafuné. Ele ficou fazendo cafuné nela. Acredita? So, next time you want someone to play with your hair, don't say, can you stroke my hair? Just say, faz cafuné. And you will sound like a true Brazilian. Now our next word might make you giggle a bit more. Second word, bunda. Alright, I can't help but smile when teaching this one. Bunda is the Brazilian Portuguese word for, your behind. Yes, your butt, rear end, or as they might say more formally, your buttocks. While in English this might sound funny or even a bit rude, in Brazil it's just a normal everyday word. It's not vulgar, it's somewhere between butt and maybe ass in terms of formality. You hear it everywhere. Some examples. Vamos, tira essa bunda daí e vem me ajudar. Or, ele nasceu com a bunda virada pra lua. This is a very interesting expression that deserves a whole new video. And here's a fun language tip. Ter bundão and ser bundão are two completely different things. The first is about your physical appearance, while the second means you're a coward or a wimp. So be careful with your bunda-related expressions. Third word, fubá. Fubá. This is simply cornmeal or corn flour, a staple ingredient in Brazilian cooking. While the meaning isn't particularly funny, the word itself has this bouncy, almost childlike sound that makes English speakers smile. It's used in many traditional Brazilian recipes, especially bolo de fubá, a delicious cornmeal cake often flavored with cheese or guava. Examples. A tia dele fez bolo de fubá delicioso. Precisamos comprar mais fubá. If you visit a Brazilian home and they offer you bolo de fubá, please definitely say yes. It's a simple but beloved treat, especially with a cup of coffee. And now you can ask for it by its proper name instead of saying that yellow cake stuff. You can say, eu queria tanto bolo de fubá. Next word, giló. Giló, a small bitter vegetable that looks a bit like a mini eggplant. Giló is famous or infamous for its distinctive bitter taste. Many Brazilians have a love-hate relationship with it. The word itself has this jazzy, upbeat sound that contrasts hilariously with its bitter flavor. For example, eu odeio jiló. Eu amo comer jiló frito. Eu nunca comi jiló. Yeah, I'll be honest, jiló is definitely an acquired taste. But in many Brazilian states, especially Minas Gerais, it's a beloved side dish. If you're brave enough to try it, order it fried, jiló frito, which helps you reduce the bitterness. Your Brazilian friends will be impressed by both your vocabulary and your courage to ask for jiló. Next stop. Next word is sopa. Sopa, which simply means soup in Portuguese. So, why is this funny? Well, it sounds almost exactly like the English word soap. This can lead to some misunderstandings, Imagine telling an English speaker you love eating soap on cold days. Eu amo tomar sopa no frio. Vocês servem sopa nesse restaurante? Qual a sua sopa favorita? Yeah, so remember, in Brazil, sopa is something delicious you eat with spoon, not something you use to wash your hands. Next word, and our next stop on this video, it's a very good word as well, xodó. Now, for one of the most uniquely Brazilian words, xodó refers to someone or something you are deeply fond of, a darling, a sweetheart, or a favorite. It's a term of endearment with no direct English equivalent. The X sound in Portuguese, which is like sh, gives it this soft, affectionate quality. Examples? Ah, você sabe que esse videogame é o meu xodó, por isso eu não quero vender. Ah, minha esposa é meu xodó. Ah, ela é a filha mais velha, por isso é o xodó da mamãe. Yeah, you see, xodó is such a versatile word. You can use it for people, pets, or even cherished possessions. It carries this sense of deep affection that favorite doesn't quite capture. Next time you want to express how much you adore something, try saying it's your xodó. Next word, chuchu. Yeah, chuchu. It's fun to say, right? Chuchu. This pale green vegetable called chayote in English, that's common in Brazilian cuisine. It has a very mild flavor, so mild that Brazilians often use chuchu as a metaphor for something or someone bland or lacking personality. But it's also an affectionate way to call someone. Vem cá, meu chuchu. Use it as a term of endearment. Ela fez salada de chuchu para você. Now as a food. Nunca comi chuchu. Yeah, interestingly, while the vegetable is considered bland, chuchu is also used as a cute pet name. So you might call your partner or child meu chuchu as a term of endearment. Languages are funny that way, aren't they? Next word, pipoqueira. Next we have this word that it's simply a popcorn maker, but it sounds very interesting. The word comes from pipoca, popcorn, with eira as a suffix for machines or containers. What makes it fun is the bouncy rhythm of the word. It almost sounds like popcorn popping. Pipoqueira. Examples: preciso comprar uma pipoqueira. But here's a fun cultural note. In Brazilian slang, calling someone pipoqueiro means they choke or fail to perform under pressure. They pop like popcorn when things get hot. For example, aquele jogador é muito pipoqueiro. So if you're watching a soccer game with Brazilians and a player misses an easy goal, you might hear everyone shouting, pipoqueiro. Now you know exactly what they mean. Next word, a disease now. Catapora. Catapora. It's the Portuguese word for chickenpox. While the disease itself isn't funny at all, the word has this rhythmic, almost musical quality that sounds quite different from the English chickenpox. Examples: eu tenho vacina contra catapora. Catapora. Eu nunca peguei catapora. Eu nunca peguei catapora. Isn't it interesting how different languages create such different words for the same thing? Chickenpox in English literally reference chickens, while catapora in Portuguese has no animal connection at all. These little linguistic differences are what make languages learning so fascinating, in my humble opinion. Next word, zoom zoom zoom. That's not even a word, right? But let's say zoom zoom zoom. This is more like an onomatopoeia, a word that sounds like what it describes. Zoom 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 refers to a buzzing sound or a rumor, gossip that's spreading. It perfectly captures that persistent humming or murmuring sound. Examples: ouvi zoom 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 de que a Maria tá namorando. A mosca fazendo zoom 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 me irrita. And that's true. Zoom zoom zoom. Zoom zoom zoom. Zoom. It's just so satisfying to say, right? And it's a perfect example of how Portuguese creates these expressive sound-based words that add color to everyday speech. Next word, marmita. Marmita. A packed lunch or meal container. This refers to homemade food packed in a container to take to work or school, similar to lunchbox or bento box. The word itself has this bouncy rhythm that makes it fun to say, and it doesn't need to be homemade. You can buy a marmita in a restaurant. Examples: vou pegar uma marmita. Vou comprar uma marmita. Ela fez a marmita para levar para o trabalho. Interestingly, depending on which region of Brazil you're in, you might hear different words for the same thing. Synonyms from marmita: quentinha, marmitex, or in the south, vianda. But marmita is probably the most widely recognized. In Brazilian culture, bringing a homemade marmita to work is super common. It's economical and lets you enjoy home cooking even when you're away. Next one, birita. Birita. That's a term which means alcoholic drink. This is playful. For example, birita. This is an informal way to refer to alcohol or booze. The word itself sounds light and cheerful, much like how people might feel after having one. For example, ele ama uma birita na sexta-noite. Hoje eu vou tomar uma birita. Using birita instead of more formal terms like bebida alcoólica or cachaça immediately makes your Portuguese sound more natural and relaxed. It's perfect for social situations when you're hanging out with friends. Just don't use it in formal settings, please. The next one, it's also very, very interesting. Chulé. Chulé. Yeah. Yes, this funny sounding word refers to that not so pleasant smell that from sweaty feet or socks. Example: eita, que chulé de queijo. Tá sentindo esse chulé? Ih, ele tem chulé. Yeah, in Brazil, people are pretty direct about this kind of thing. If someone's feet smell, don't be surprised if a Brazilian friend points it out with a casual, nossa, que chulé. It's not considered as rude as it might be in some other cultures. Just a straightforward observation. Chulé. So if someone says that to you, you know your feet smell. And finally, the word muvuca. Muvuca, a word that perfectly captures chaos and crowding. Muvuca. Muvuca refers to a crowded, chaotic situation, a throng of people, a jam-packed place, or general confusion. The word itself sounds a bit chaotic, doesn't it? Não vou ao show, porque eu não gosto de muvuca. E ele foi lá no meio daquela muvuca. Carnaval no Rio é a maior muvuca. If you have ever been to a Brazilian carnival or tried to use public transportation during rush hour in São Paulo, you have certainly experienced a true muvuca. It's one of those words that just perfectly captures the feeling of being in a chaotic, energetic crowd. So, there you have it. 14 Brazilian Portuguese words that might sound funny to English speakers, but are incredibly useful in everyday conversation. From the gentle cafuné to chaotic muvuca. These words give you a glimpse into Brazilian culture and help you express concepts that might take several words in English. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and if you know any other funny sounding Portuguese words, share those too in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more Portuguese language tips and cultural insights. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos. And if you want to practice these words and learn even more Brazilian Portuguese vocabulary, check out my Patreon page where I share exclusive content and exercise. The link is in the description below. Muito obrigado por assistir. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. And don't forget, don't panic, keep speaking Portuguese.